Okay, we're coming to you live from Adelaide, but news just coming in from Sydney. New Zealand have won the toss, and no surprises there. What they've decided to do, they've decided to bat first, and that's primarily because of what we've seen in this tournament. Most games that have been played in Sydney, 6 of all that have been played in Sydney, we've seen sides that have batted first have won. 5 out of those 6 games have been won by sides batting first. The only time that you had a side chasing and winning the game, that was the England-Sri Lanka game, and England also struggled to chase down that total. So clearly batting first seems to be the way to go in Sydney, and on that front New Zealand have won the toss and have decided to bat first. That's the latest that we're getting to you from Sydney. As far as the playing 11 is concerned, no changes for the New Zealand team. This is their 11: Finn Allen, Devon Conway, Kane Williamson, Glenn Phillips, Daryl Mitchell, Jimmy Neesham, Mitchell Santner, Tim Southee, Ish Sodhi, Lockie Ferguson and Trent Boult. So New Zealand have picked an unchanged side, and they have won the toss and decided to bat first. That's the big news coming in from Sydney. I have with me the man who's just taken a flight from Sydney and is here in Adelaide. Much cooler weather now than it was during the day. But Sunny bhai, the first bit of news coming in from Sydney: New Zealand have won the toss, decided to bat first. That's not surprising. I was taking a look at the 6 games that have been played in Sydney in this tournament. 5 have been won by batting first. The only time a team that was chasing one was England versus Sri Lanka. That too went down right down to the wire. So batting first clearly seems to be the way to go in Sydney.
And in a knockout game, you put scoreboard pressure. In a knockout game, in a league game, you always know that there's another game after this. But in a knockout game, the scoreboard pressure can be telling on the team that is chasing. They need to get off to a good start. If the team that is chasing gets off to a good start, it makes it easy for them. So this is a very smart move by the New Zealand captain. Obviously, they must have seen the record, as you mentioned. 5 of the matches have been won with the teams who have batted first and put some runs on the board. So I think that's a very clever move from New Zealand. Having said that, Pakistan has got the new ball attack to make the early inroads. They make the early inroads, then New Zealand can be restricted to about 140, and if that happens, then Pakistan should win. Over 150, it will be a challenge for any team, not just Pakistan. In a knockout game, over 150 is going to be a challenge for any team.
We often talk about how it's the subcontinental teams that tend to do well because when you've got the spinners going, and Sydney where it tends to help the spinners, you mostly will pick subcontinental team. This time around though, it's the New Zealand spinners that have set the stage on fire. Both Mitchell Santner and Ish Sodhi have been on fire, so they've also got the personnel for the conditions that they're playing in.
They certainly have, and both of them will enjoy bowling on Sydney, because Sydney traditionally is a good pitch to bat on against the medium pacers, because the ball comes onto the bat quite nicely. But because it also allows a little more bounce, you will find that the leg spinner in particular, Ish Sodhi for example, is getting a lot of batsmen caught behind, a lot of batsmen whose cut shots are going up in the air, caught at back foot point or thereabout. So I think yes, they've bowled well, and if they keep bowling well, then obviously it's not going to be easy for any opposition.